Hey NJ, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Uh, let's start with where it all began for you in the music industry.
Man, the industry, well, I'd have to say it started in my bedroom first and foremost. Like I was a fan of the music. Just listen to guys like Pac, Biggie, Eminem, Outkast, Big Pun, some of my early influences. I was just in my room and started writing raps to just express myself, man. Like just to get stuff off your chest. When you're a teenager, you're going through some highs and lows. So you just want to express yourself. So I just do a lot of the stuff in my room. And from there, just started showing people a bit. Some people did it. Some people just thought you were kind of silly. But I don't know. It's just something that I've always done and stuck with. So it was like a good vent for me, you could say. It was something that I did to, feel something. And eventually just started doing proper recordings, linked up with a few people. And by about 2003, 4, started recording my first album, which released like late 2005, early 2006. And then I got my first taste of sort of the industry from there. And to be honest, I felt very boxed out because you kind of have to push your way in, man. Like it's dog eat dog out there, no one really wants to, take you on board or anything like that. You're unsigned. You're trying to fight for a position, but like there's so much competition and there's labels and whatnot. And back then, Australian hip hop was just sort of taking off. Hilltops were just kind of cracking through when Nosebleed section dropped. So times were changing, and seeing other people like break through was definitely a good thing because then it's like, well, hey, if they can do it, then why can't I?
Yeah.
And then the challenge was set, man. So yeah,
How do you feel it has changed now? Because back then in 2003 to 2005, you needed a record label to do anything, but now you can just distribute music straight from your bedroom.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, for me personally, I've never been signed, so I've done everything myself independently. While there were powerhouses like Abyss Records, they like were pushing guys like the Hilltop Hoods, Draft, Illy, done quite well through them. Cursor got distributed through them eventually. Cursor made his own lane. Props to Cursor, man. Yeah, there's another guy that's just done it, just done it hard and just done it well.
Mm.
But for me, I just put my head down and went the independent route. So I shopped it to labels and whatnot, but to get their attention was quite hard because you're always competing against people who may know people or something like that. But I guess I just carved my own lane, man. Just grinded it out and let the hustle speak for itself. So I'm just one of those MCs that I let my work speak for myself. So that's kind of the way that I sort of like got exposure. Just hounded promoters and whatnot and said, "Hey, I'd love a spot on that show." And hey, man, like if you see my live show, like bang bang, I'll put in 110%. I'll push the show hard for you. So I just you have to really sell yourself to people. Totally different times back then, and now like you got like sub genres and everything. So like the game's changed so much, and like you said, man, you don't really need the label, and that's definitely a thing. And everyone's just it's just based on your work ethics, really.
Yeah.
And mine's still there. So yeah, here I am, all these years later, and I'm about to release my fourth album, which is called The Evolution of Oneself. Yeah, just COVID's been quite testing lately, so everything's been pushed back.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being independent and still, I just had a quick look at your Spotify and still hitting the like average 30,000 plays. It's decent numbers considering you're independent and, COVID and all that stuff. Like, you're still grinding and you're still pushing.
Yeah, I guess that the tracks on Spotify, I'm quite surprised that there's still numbers on there, and I still get love from people. I guess my catalog, like, it's something I take pride in. Like I look back on tracks, and I'm still proud of what they are today. Like I've got tracks that I had one track the other day that two people gave me props for in the same day, and you know, it's like, damn, that track's 11 years old. I can remember performing that back in 2010, and I can still perform it today, and it's still like something that hits, and it just goes down well. Because at the end of the day, man, good music's good music, and regardless of time and age, it's still gonna have that same vibe, that effect, that feel to it. So I take a lot of pride in making music that lasts. You know, I think that's something that I really, really take pride in. Like I like to look back on my releases and be like, I'm proud of this right here. So I think that's just those Spotify plays are just sort of telling me that people are still vibing to these albums, these tracks, and that's something I'm very proud of, man, for sure. Yeah.
Well, at that point, it's not a discography; it's more of a legacy for you.
Yeah, it feels that way. And the older you get, it's like, yeah, you really take pride in that stuff like that. You don't really think about it when you're younger, but you think about it a lot more now. Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about your busking freestyles way back when, pre-COVID.
Oh wow, yeah. I love busking, man. Like it's kind of weird how busking came about. For me, like hip hop's always been a real like street thing, like to be connected with the streets, and you know, the way I started busking was kind of strange because I had, you know, you walk past people in the city and they're busking and they're doing their thing and street performing, and you're like, damn, that takes a lot of work ethic, and you know, they're putting in hours upon hours and they're spreading their name out to the people and whatnot. Some people frown upon it, some people don't. Some people like, wow, you got guts to do that. So you know, it is what it is. But a friend of mine once asked me, he goes, hey man, would you like to come out and busk? And this is at this point in time, I was like doing a lot of gigs, and I was putting myself out there on a big scale, you know, and it was probably near my peak as well, back in about 2013, 14. And I went out busking with him. I just had the best time, man. Just like taking it back to just rapping. You know, you do the freestyles here and there. You meet people. People come up and go, "Hey, man, do you mind if I jump on the mic?" And you just, you know, just associate with your city, man, and it's just great. And then people will be like, "Well, what are you doing out there? Why are you doing that for?" And I'm like, "Well, I enjoy it." You know, and on top of that, you're getting tax-free money, which is always a good thing. But regardless of the money, it's about the feeling, man. And you know, like you'd have your days where you know some people might get on your nerves or whatnot, but then some person comes past and they look at it, like look at you and like look at the music playing, and they're just smiling, and it's like you're changing someone's whole attitude from a song or a vibe that you just putting out there to the world. And my style is very different to most. I feel like I've got my vibe I'd describe as like conscious boom bap. Like, so you got that 90s style, and you got the heavy drums, and with a spice of soul, you know, like I got that soul in the beats and stuff like that. I take pride having, you know, the old samples and stuff like that. I'm big on one of my favorite producers is DJ Premier, and he's sample heavy, and you know, like I keep my vibe along that line, and it is what it is. I don't, you know, you won't hear me on a trap beat or anything like that. It's just not for me. I've got to do what's right for me and what sits right with my soul. So yeah, but with the busking, it's just something that I got into through my friend, and then started doing it by myself. I've done it in Brisbane City. I've done it in Sydney City, and yeah, it's been fun, man. Like, and on top of that, it's like a kind of like a paid rehearsal in a way. So when I have, if you're doing hours upon hours, and my average was like 3 hours, I'd average 3 hours. So you think rapping nonstop, 3 hours, Like that's that's some work right there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you stop between them, have drinks, and you talk to people and conversate. But ultimately, you're getting your name out there a bit, and it's fun. So it's just something I enjoyed doing. Brisbane City in the valley there, Fortitude Valley. Shout out to Fortitude Valley. It was fun, man, because it's sort of like the party central, and you're just out there doing your thing, and people will just be like, "Wow, this guy's crazy," like he's just in the heart of the city, and you'd see when they have like hip hop gigs on and stuff, people come past, and you'd see MCs, and you get the MCs on the mic and stuff like that. So it was fun, man. Like to be honest, I haven't busked in about maybe 6-7 months, so it's been a while. My equipment's in Brisbane. Got a house up in Brisbane. I'm here in Sydney. I'll pretty much be staying in Sydney because I've got a young baby now and family, so it's all about the family life. But I'll bring my busking gear down at one point, and who knows, might get back out there. We'll see how it goes, but really just focused on getting this new album out at the moment. That's my priority when it comes to this music thing. And yeah, man.
What city pays more, busking wise? Like, where'd you get the most money, Sydney or Brisbane?
I'd say hands down Brisbane.
Really?
Yeah. I used to do a bit of busking outside this Coles, and it was people just throw notes at you, man. They just loved it, absolutely loved it. And then one day I got a security guy come up to me there, and he's like, "You're not allowed to do this here." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like I've been doing this for months here." And they basically said, if you do this again here, you'll get a fine. So
yeah,
I kind of
had to leave.
I had to keep it moving. I called the numbers and stuff like that and asked them, "Hey man, what's the deal? Like a lot of people love what I do here. What's the problem? I'm just kind of rehearsing for my shows and that." And he's like, "Look, man, unfortunately, you can't do it." I'm like, "Well, what about when other people do it? Because I've seen other people do it. You gonna move them along too, or?" So it's kind of tough. Sometimes you're dealing with that stuff. That's what you get, and you get a lot of crooked cops. I dealt with a lot of crooked cops in Sydney City in the Central Station tunnels. You get cops that would just make their own little rules, man, and kind of. Oh, I remember this female cop one time. She was just drilling me on some drama, and I was just like, "What? Hang on a sec, I've bust here all the time," and it was like, what is the problem here? So you get cops to just make their own rules sometimes. Most cops will just smile at you and just be like, good day to you, and it's all love. But you'll get the occasionals that love the power trip, and so that gets frustrating. But it's pretty fun.
Back on your old samples and all the genre of music you like making, do you think the scene will go back to the old way?
I think there's definitely a niche for it. There's it depends on the artist, man. Like I think different artists have different vibes. Some evolve a different way, or they evolve in a different direction. I think to some degree you kind of got to reinvent yourself too. So, some people experiment with different sounds and stuff. But you'll never hear like NJE over a techno beat or a house beat or something like that. Just like hip hop comes from a certain place, man. It's like, to me personally, that can't do that, man. Just not for me.
Where do you see the scene going?
What's that, sir?
Where do you see the scene going in about we'll say 5 years or so? Like, do you think it will do a full circle, or do you think it's going to stay along this trap, drill type style?
I think it will definitely evolve and change once again, especially with COVID and stuff. It's changed a lot, and I think when the dust settles and things start getting back to normal and the shows start coming back in. You're going to see certain artists just rise, and because the live element is not really there at the moment. And now you see artists starting to book shows again and get back out there. So you're definitely going to see a change in who's going to take it. You know, it's there for the taking, really. You know, changing times in a big way, because we've had just like, it's been basically 2 years where, you know, the live aspect's just gone. So if you don't have an online presence and you haven't survived that, you know, you better get back to the drawing board.
Speaking of online presence, your account got hacked on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
How did that happen?
It was like some Bitcoin crap, man. It was biggest headache. There's a lot of it going on at the moment too, man. Like they're hacking a lot of people's accounts. So basically, they got me early in the morning. I was half asleep, and you know, like they said something, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. And you know, sort of, they just got me on the hook, man. And before you know it, boom, 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 my account's just gone. And then they basically said to me, we want you to do a video saying I made like all this money on Bitcoin and blah blah blah. So they want my face saying, oh da da da, like use my identity. I was like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, hell no. Yeah, I go, give me back my fucking account.
Yeah, no, that's shit.
No matter what I did, no matter what angle I took, Instagram doesn't listen. Facebook goes, oh, you're probably best just get people to report the account. So I tried that angle, but people reported. And then eventually the account just got removed. And then I'm trying to claim it back, and they said the account's totally gone. So I don't know if I could get it back at this point, but I mean, you just rebuild. It's at the end of the day, it's just a numbers thing. Like people are like, oh, he's got this much following. And unfortunately, perception is huge these days. It's the internet. And so the people who know me, they, you know, they'll get the picture soon enough and follow the other account. I mean, I might get it back. Who knows? I might get an email in a month from now saying, you know, if you can verify yourself, you can get your account back. I've known people that have gone through it and they've got their account back. So, you know, I got my fingers crossed, but if not, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, we found each other from my account.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm already creating more ventures and things happening. So, yeah, it's very shit. And also, if you noticed on Facebook lately, there's been a lot of people, say, for example, Bliss and Esso, Bit of Belief, they've been jacking their whole profiles and saying, you win this prize. As soon as people are like, oh my God, Bliss and Esso added me. And then they message them and they say, you won this prize. And it's like what? Bliss and Esso is giving away money now?
Yeah.
Cogs is giving away money now? Nah, it doesn't work like that. And a lot of the artists are putting on their page, like, just so you know, I'm giving you a warning right now. This is not me. So a lot of it's going on right now.
Yeah, even that's ridiculous. Like, then it falls on the artist. It's like, man, I never told you that I was giving away money. How is this my fault? You clicked the link. I don't know. Like,
the amount of emails I got and the amount of inbox messages and texts or whatever, you know, so many, like, and you're just saying the same thing every day. That's definitely not me. I'm not giving away money. Like, come on, man. Like, be serious. Be real here. Like, who's giving away money in the like the end of COVID? Or maybe not the end of COVID. You know? Yeah, just no.
Yeah, like, it doesn't make any sense.
But the problem is, it's something in you just like, oh, free money, what? And
yeah,
if they get you a time where you're tired or you're just not thinking straight,
or strapped for cash,
you know, they get you when and people have showed me their conversations. This is what happened, and they say like that'd be good for my family, and ultimately $500, $600 would be good for anyone's family, mate. So you know, sometimes people are like, oh well, but realistically, no one's giving away that money. So you got to think logically here, and I didn't too. So you know, I did the same thing. So it happens. Be careful, guys.
See, I thought they just got through to your email, and then from your email, they reset your password and just lock you out.
They change it all. They change it all very quickly, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. So I've gone and double, triple authenticated my email address, like my email account, and then double authenticated my all my Instagram accounts. I've got like a bunch, but like, yeah, it sucks. Like people work their asses off to build up all this following, the whole account, and then some fuckwit just comes in and just takes it. It's like,
Yeah, man. I had a lot of contacts from America and stuff on there. You know, Australia, like a lot of very respected MCs out here. I would conversate with them on that account. So, you know, like.
Now you just got the scammer.
Yeah, like they're probably this scam is probably this scam is probably messaged to all these people, and like, you know, I've tried to reconnect with a lot of people, and most of them understand, and you know, they get that it's really a thing right now. The problem is there's a hole in the way they do things on both Facebook and Instagram, and they really need to see that and address it, because I'm trying to like prove my identity. Like, you know, it's like this is a mess, man. So
it's like
hopefully they sort it out, because it's very very bad.
Yeah, well, it's just as easy as going, I forgot my password, and then they send you a link straight to your email, and all you got to do is click the link and you're in. You don't have to do anything else other than that. So if they've got through your email, they can get straight in.
That's basically what it is. Yeah,
it's terrible. But enough on how shit Instagram and Facebook is.
So yeah, guys, just
yeah,
if you get NJE saying I'm going to give you money, it's not me. Sorry, guys.
We would be the last people giving away money.
That's it. We just broke some seas.
Yeah. What has been the hardest part in the music industry, other than like that 2000s to like 2010 come up? Like, what has been like the hardest or the biggest learning experience for you?
Probably accepting that you'll never be like famous type of thing. Like, but to me, it's never really been about the fame. I always ask myself this one question. I say, why do you do this? If at the end of the day, I can look in the mirror and say, I do this because I love it, and anything else is a bonus, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep doing it until I don't enjoy it. I still enjoy it. I'm not really out there to challenge MCs. I'm not trying to battle anyone or be better than anyone. Just trying to make good music that lasts, you know, stuff that people can still bump 10 years from now and enjoy it and go, I like this guy's vibe. So that's what it's about for me. The day I don't love it, it's the day I'll quit. So that's what it's about for me.
That was going to be my next question. You've been doing it for so long. Have you ever thought about just stopping and just doing the 9 to 5?
I do the 9 to 5 and this. So
yeah, well,
like there's been times where I've actually made more money on music than my day job. And sometimes you get people like, don't quit your day job. They might not like your style or whatever. It's like, do you actually know? I do quite well with music.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't see that, because the thing is, if you put yourself out there and you find the angles to make money in this game, and you find the ways that you can capitalize, and you have a strong business mind, because I'm self-managed. See, like I once had a manager at a point, but it wasn't for me. I realized that I could just manage myself, because I know what I want and I know what I want to achieve in this business, in this game. So I just went out and did it. I created a label called the Essence Entertainment, which is sort of also a hub or a platform where I put on young MCs. So I started putting on showcase events in like cities like Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and I just do the circle, man. Just go round and round. And sometimes I perform, sometimes I just host, because people just want to be around. You know, they might want to have a drink with you, get to know you. Yeah, I'm like, come through. I'm just hosting this one, but come down. You know, I'm putting on some new MCs, and I'm always on the lookout for upcoming talents. So I mean, and if that's you guys, please send through your music to the Essence Entertainment page on Facebook, or even me, and I'll check it out. eventually we'll get back into the shows and whatnot. But right now it's just about trying to get this album out. But yeah, you just got to find avenues and ways to do things, and it is what it is.
You probably put on a few people that I've spoken to over the past like 8 months I've been doing this.
Yeah, right.
Because like you said, you went to like Melbourne, and like you probably like I don't know if you've Haunts or Scooby Tunes or any one of those. Like, yeah.
Yep.
That's just a couple off the top of my head. Kickback, he's brand new to the Adelaide scene. He's decent.
I'll keep a lookout for these young guys, man. Like the thing is, sometimes when I put out, like I've got an event coming up, blah blah blah, looking for MCs in Adelaide or whatever like that, I just go contact me if you need it. So you might have like someone that knows someone, and they'll go, oh cool, you should check this out and put yourself forward to this guy. So word gets around that you're promoted too, and it's just building ties with people, and I take pride in treating people with a level of respect, and I love putting on MCs because I remember when I first started, a lot of people wouldn't help me, man. Like, so the give back is very important to me. And I like to try to drop a few gems on these young MCs and just let them know like some avenues to take and ways to be and ways not to be. So I've formed some really good friendships with MCs over the years through that. Some are very ungrateful, man. They won't be on the next bill, put it like that. But I take it with a grain of salt sometimes, man, and just try to give people the benefit of the doubt and try to help them out as much as I can. I have open mics in the end of my shows too to try to put people on who are a bit nervous about full sets, but I'm like, hey man, there's only a few people in the crowd now. The crowd's pretty much gone. There's about 10, 15 people out here who want to get up and try that song. Get up, man. I try and encourage them,
Yeah. I feel like the scene needs more people like you. It's already cutthroat enough without the industry and people in it trying to keep everyone down. Like, I feel like if everyone banded together,
really is, man.
The Oz rap scene in Australia, like it could outdo the US hands down.
100%, man. And I've performed in the US. I've performed in New York City. I think I've done 2 or 3 shows in New York. Yeah, about 3 shows in New York. That was about 2013. And the level of talent there is insane. And you just blend in as another MC. It is like crazy out there. And those shows were pretty small. Like, they actually weren't that great. I expected so much more, so I kind of felt a little bit let down. One of the best nights was one that was a very organized event. It was called End of the Week, and a lot of famous MCs come through that joint. So that was you felt a real hip hop vibe in there. Like, this is like the essence of hip hop right here. So performing at that one was probably the best because when you stepped in there, you had to bring your A game and you couldn't mess up no words on stage. And, but the level of talent in that building that day is just insane, man. And New York's crazy because you go places and you never know who's walking through that door. Like, I remember being at an XXL freshman show and I met Static Selector there. I met Terminology. And I seen Busta Rhymes just chilling at the bar. So you never know who you're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't imagine. Like, you've listened to Busta Rhymes, for example, your whole life, and then he's just hanging out over there at the bar. It's just like, ooh, did you fangirl? You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Busta for a very long time, man. So for me, it was something else, man.
Yeah. When would you say you've made it within this music industry? Like, when would you say this is it? Like,
for me, I don't really know what's making it to some people is different for others. You know what I mean? I think making it's like you got to ask yourself what that means to you. For me, making it's just, are you making money off it? Are you making yourself famous off it? Like, you got to ask yourself what you want from this. For me, my day job keeps me like involved with people day to day. So I enjoy my job. I'm a people's person, you know. So to me, I don't mind doing my job, and then I don't mind being the rap guy, being the promoter guy. So I enjoy what I do. So does that mean I've made it? I don't know. You know, like to some people, they're like, "Oh, you live the best life," but I never stop. So is making it like when you're kicking back on an island? You know, like you got to ask yourself what it means to you, I guess, man. So everyone's different. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, no, it's something to think about. It's like, when would you say you've made it? And then you look at it and you're like, probably never, because you always got to do something else. You know, you get to that level, and then there's always another level that you need to get to.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, when are we ever satisfied as human beings? Like, sometimes never. So you always want to better yourself. And sometimes I look back like, man, was that my peak, or is my peak now? Like, I still have a pretty solid following and fan base. And sometimes even more than back in 2010, which I would say was my peak. I mean, I was selling more tickets to shows back then, but you know, times have changed. And then those times I was in my 20s, and so people in the 20s are more likely to go to shows. So therefore, it's logical that they buy more tickets. Nowadays, like people my age, they got families, they can't come like that anymore. You know what I mean? So you got to tap into a younger generation, and that's challenging. But they still come. You know, you get people that will still come. People will get babysitters, and they'll come through to your shows. So it's about reinventing sometimes, man.
Yeah.
And staying in touch with your people. Yeah.
When you're not being NJE, what are you doing, like, in your spare time?
Family.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Not a lot of time. In this day and age, man, I mean, a lot's changed since COVID. I mean, as I was telling you before, I've got a 4-month-old, my partner, and fatherhood's great. Loving it.
They definitely keep you busy, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. I'm really blessed to have a healthy son, and very grateful for that. Very grateful for an amazing partner. Been through a lot, man. So you know, it's good to have that support. Yeah, man. But besides that, sometimes I'll catch up with friends, whatnot. But it's hard in between. And if not, I go in the studio. Yeah, just going back in the booth and getting things done. Not a lot of time to myself these days. You know, I watch basketball. I love basketball.
Favorite team?
Man, how can you pick these days? Because players like change teams like underwear. So, like, I mean, I'm a big fan of LeBron James, but the Lakers don't look too good right now. So,
yeah, no, I've been a Bulls fan through and through, and they are smashing it this season, I have to say. Like,
yeah, man,
damn,
they're a very entertaining team right now. DeRozan's looking great over there, man, and Caruso. Yeah, I mean, they're exciting to watch. They're a very fun team to watch. I'm a big fan. I've been following them for so long. So basketball is always something that I like to do, to space out my time, when it comes to fitness and whatnot. And also, I like hitting the gym a bit.
Yeah.
2-3 times a week if I can. Obviously, since the baby, a lot less. Since COVID, a lot less.
Look, they're just as heavy as some dumbbells. You just lift them a little bit.
Well, yeah, man. He's getting man. But yeah, it's really hard to catch up with people in these times. I feel hopefully we get back there one day. But yeah, mainly family, man. I'd say, yeah.
It takes people a long time to figure out that themselves and family is more important than fame and success, and they don't realize that until they're all alone in their big ass house. You know,
I had that feeling. I had that feeling not too long ago, alone in a big ass house, and then came here to Sydney. Started a relationship with my partner now, and now we've got a beautiful son. Blessed, man. You know what I mean? So it's funny how life just changes like that. It's crazy. Like, that was 2 years back. You know,
Jeez.
it's crazy.
2 years back
Yeah.
feels like 6 months ago.
Oh, it does, man.
Yeah.
It's you know, you just got to put your head down sometimes and work for what you want and out of this life, because you never know when you know it's over. So you got to go for yours. You want something, go get it, man. The only person really stopping you is yourself.
Deep,
Yeah.
but absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
I do have a list of questions I fire off at everyone. It's just to get to know you a little bit better than what we have been now. But what's your favorite food, man?
Favorite food? Ribs. Like, but it's got to be homemade. Like I make my ribs a certain way. That reminds me, I'm gonna have to do it for the family very soon. gotta have the hot sauce. Gotta have some like sticky sauce up in there. It's got to be done like to perfection. And when it's done right, they're my number one, hands down. Yeah.
Man, I love ribs, but they're just way too messy. Like, as much as you love them, it's not worth the cleanup half the time.
Yeah. Nah, I can do the cleanup for them.
Yeah.
But if I was to make you ribs, man, you'd be like, this is what the cleanup.
Netflix or Disney Plus, man?
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any spare time, but what are you watching at the moment?
A show that I really enjoyed was Peaky Blinders was fantastic. Have you ever seen that?
No, I might have to check it out. So much shit on there. Like, I don't know whether I should click play on half of it, but when people recommend stuff, it's usually pretty decent.
Watch like a few episodes, and then you'll get a feel for it, and you'll be hooked, man. You'll be telling me like, "This is great, man." Have a good show. There's a really cool show on there. There's a really cool show on there. Me and my partner were watching called Maid. It's about this mother and a daughter that got out of a domestic violence situation, and it was really awkward. And it's just a really cool real life story.
Yeah.
Fantastic little drama there. That's worth checking for. Disney Plus, though, I really loved Mandalorian. Like,
yeah, I think that's the only reason why everyone got it.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But we were absolutely hooked on Mandalorian. We absolutely loved it. So
waiting for every week for a new one to drop. Like, that's how hooked everyone was. But yeah, I think that's why everyone got Disney Plus.
It was an exciting time, and also I'm a massive basketball fan, so you obviously would have watched, and you're a Bulls man too. So The Last Dance.
I have not seen that.
Oh man, like,
I'm not big on documentaries. Like, my partner can watch them for days. I just fall asleep. They just bore me.
All right.
Unless it's like hella conspiracies and shit, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's done really well. That documentary series, and I really enjoyed it, man. I thought Tiger King was quite good. It's quite funny. I don't know why. Seen that. Like, it's about this bogan hippie type bloke, and he's going head to head with this other lady, this cat lady, and it's a weird thing to watch and get into, but I don't know why you get hooked. So that's on Netflix too. And obviously, when the first lockdown happened, you have to find shows, so you're digging everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So
you find stuff that you would never even click play on, but you did because you were bored.
Pretty much, and that's pretty much how Tiger King came about. Yeah, man.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
PlayStation or Xbox?
To be honest, man, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Probably PlayStation though.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like Street Fighter from back in the day. But I'm not. I've never really played these new games. Never really got into it. So
you're just an old school guy, I guess.
Well, yeah, just my priority is just working and making sure my child's good, making sure my partner's good. You know what I mean? To sit down and play a game, yeah, I'd rather be in the studio or shooting some hoops or something. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
it's just not really, as a grown man, it's not really something I do now.
Yeah. No, I've got a PS4, but ever since my little one came along, it's just collecting dust at the moment. So yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
no time. What's your biggest conspiracy, man?
Biggest conspiracy.
Yeah, tinfoil hats. You know.
Oh, you know, in all honesty, I don't mention COVID anymore on social media.
Yeah.
Because you have an opinion, or you actually have a side of an opinion on this thing, you get blasted. I put something up as simple as there was a best and less thing when the vaccinated unvaccinated thing came out. It was best and less came out and said, we're not going to let, if you're unvaxxed, we're not letting you in the store. So I put something up on my NJE page with a 9K following, and I said, it looks like best and less is going to get less customers now, and the laughing face. People attack me like heavily in the span of an hour over that. I'm like, it's just a joke. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually vaccinated, but I mean, if you're not, it's okay.
Yeah, people have way too many opinions now. It's like, just chill the fuck out, relax.
But you can't even talk. You can't even talk about it. And you know, within an hour, it got so many comments, and people were like, "Oh, you too." Oh, no. So you know what I've done? I just deleted it, and I actually lost about 10 to 15 of my people on my page from that post. It's like, really, are people like gonna unfollow me and not like my music because I wrote a kind of a joke thing about COVID? Like, really, are you that sensitive? They really are.
Yeah. Oh well, 10 to 15 people that you're probably better off without. I'd have to say.
That's just it. You know, it goes up and down like a roller coaster. But
That's it.
if you are vaccinated or unvaccinated, that's on you, man. Like, it's like totally up to you. You're your own person. You can make your decisions. So,
yeah,
I mean, people took that the wrong way. It was so I just don't speak on it anymore. I feel like I can't have an.
No, no one can. How dare you?
You really can't. And Facebook it traps you, man, because it says what's on your mind.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the conspiracy right there.
Just write like a paragraph of stuff and you just delete it all anyway.
Well, you can't actually say what's on your mind, can you?
No, can't.
To a degree. I mean,
not unless you want to get like a sensitive content sticker or like COVID-19 bubble at the bottom, information bubble, or like, yeah, you can't say anything.
That's it.
Before we wrap this up, I want to know more about your album that you preached about at the start. Tell me about it, and when can we expect it?
Okay, so the album is called The Evolution of Oneself. So that title meaning the constant change, the constant growth as yourself as a person, as an artist. I'm talking from my perspective, but it's also, you can look at it from your own perspective too. So I've been through a lot of change in the last, say, 3 years. So big evolution of oneself and myself. And now being a father, even more evolution. So, you know, that's what the album's about. I've released a bunch of singles from the album. So there's the first single was called Innocence Lost, featuring Joseph Gatto, which got some play on Rage television. Then I dropped Ballad for the Brokenhearted, which went down really well. It actually is my first song that got played on MTV, so buckets ticked off right there. Then I had a song called Pay Attention with a good friend of mine called Unchained. Had another track after that we dropped, which is called Bottled Inside, featuring my man Bruce Hathcock. Went down really well with a lot of people. And then the latest single is called Stay Chilled, which funnily enough really resonated with a lot of people because they could relate to it in a sense of what's going on in the world today with COVID and whatnot. You know, just like it is what it is, and you just gotta stay chilled. So kick back with a drink, smoke whatever you want to do, and just ride the wave. You know. So I've really set a tone with the singles, and I'm I've got so many other potential singles from the album. I'll probably be looking at doing another video pretty soon before the drop, like, and drop that and then drop the album sort of thing. The album's at the final mixing stages and nearly at the mastering stages. Actually, probably my next studio session, which I'll probably be booking in a week or two, will be starting to wrap up the album. So the mixing and the mastering, and probably one more session and finalize the mastering. And then from there, it's just to have enough money to go and press it all up and stuff. I'll be doing a vinyl press up in this one. So it'll be my first records, which is something I'm really looking forward to doing. And I'll be pressing up CDs because people still enjoy CDs and they like that to collect it. I like really signing them and making it personalized for the people. Be doing the same with the records. I'll be doing T-shirts, whatnot, whatever. Just branding is very important. Yeah. When the album will drop, say early next year sometime at this point. Really hard to say.
You've got a lot of singles. How many tracks can we expect?
On the album, there's 17 tracks. I've dropped already 5 singles. But it's kind of like just putting the music out there.
Yeah.
Like, this is, a taste of what's to come. And when the album drops, there's plenty more heat on the album, believe me. I've got some collaborations with some artists from America. I've got one artist from the UK. Pretty established MCs too. Really proud of these features. Also some Australian MCs on there, of course. Some of my friends, some people that are associated with over the years. So I'm really proud of the body of work and I'm really looking forward for just releasing it to people. I can't wait. I'm so excited to get something fresh out to the people. I haven't dropped a release since 2017. Which is my Soul Beats and Solace mixtape. So really excited, man. Yeah,
that's keen. I'm very excited to hear it. Like, like if that's what you're leading with all your singles, it should definitely be a decent album.
Yeah, and all the singles are done fairly well, man. Really happy with how they've turned out, and yeah, man, looking forward to it.
What do you have to say to ever-growing fan base?
Man, just for those who have ridden with me for so long, thank you so much. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Anyone that's supported my music in any way, shape, or form, sharing it, showing a friend, told people about me. I mean, I had a guy he bought a face mask lately, done some face masks recently. He was in Geelong and he walked into a petrol station and the guy smiled at the counter. He's like, well, what are you smiling for? He goes, I know that guy. I know his music. I like his stuff, And I was like, Geelong? I got people out of Geelong. That's crazy. And like, so that's kind of cool when you hear stuff like that. And you think you're like, you've been around for so long, maybe these people will forget you or they're onto the new wave or something like that. But it just so happens I've still got, people that are loyal to what is, and they're waiting for this new album, and it's really rewarding to hear those type of things, man. So I'm thankful for each and every fan out there, anyone that shows love to what I do, shows appreciation for what I do. I see you guys, and thank you very much. Yeah.
And what do you have to say to people who aren't following you?
Well, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. One thing with being an artist, you got to realize that not everyone's going to love you. People are going to tell you how to be, or why don't you rap over this type of beat? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? End of the day, because I got to do me, bro. But everyone's got an opinion too, you know what I mean? So you got to take that opinion on board and don't take it the wrong way. Because as an artist, sometimes you might be like, no, I want to do it this way. And then you've attacked that person and then they're going to think, well, this guy's being a bit of a dickhead. Yeah. So they'll be like, I don't want to listen to his music anymore. I don't want to associate with him. People might not like your music, but they might respect you. You know what I mean? So you just got to have that respect. So people say to me, hey, man, I'm not really vibing to your new track. It's like, that's cool, man. Maybe it's just not for you. That's fine, though. So you can't get too butthurt over it, man. You got to kind of just be like, oh, maybe you'll like this more upbeat track or something like that. And maybe they won't. If they don't, be like, oh, cool, that's maybe it's not for you, man. That's all
Yeah.
good. So not everyone's gonna love you. Remember that, young MCs.
NJE, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate your time.